Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shramoveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glory to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We are reading Sri Caitanya Caritamrita and discussing. Here we are in Adi Lila, chapter 17, the Lord's activities in his youth. And he's just met Chandkaji, and they're beginning their discussion.
নীলাম্বর চক্রবর্তী হয় তোমার নানা, সেই সম্বন্ধে হও তুমি আমার ভাগিনা।
Nilambar Chakravarti is your maternal grandfather. And by this relationship, you are thus my nephew.
ভাগিনার ক্রোধ মামা অবশ্য সহায়, মাতুলের অপরাধ ভাগিনা না লয়।
When a nephew is very angry, his maternal uncle is tolerant. And when the maternal uncle commits an offense, the nephew does not take it very seriously.
এই মতো দুহার কথা হয় ঠারে ঠোরে, ভেতরের অর্থ কেহ বুঝিতে না পারে।
In this way, the Kazi and the Lord talk with each other with various indications, but no outsider could understand the inner meaning of their conversation. So a couple of just observations. So so when the Kazi is saying, if the uncle commits an offense, the nephew doesn't take it seriously. What offense do you think he's talking about?
Interrupting the Sankirtan movement.
You might think that, but he's responding to Lord Chaitanya's query. How come you didn't come and receive me? How come you're hid in your room? So I suggest it's that one, but it could be the other one too. Although he's going to deal with the second one later, what you mentioned, Pranav Prabhu, a little bit later. Another note is that, Nilambar Chakrabarti is Lord Chaitanya's Mother Sachi's father. And in Bengal, we know that the names, particularly all over India, but especially in Bengal, that by their name, you can know their Varna, or at least their supposed Varna. So Chakravarti, that's technically from a Brahmin background, right? Chakravarti. Some other names from a Brahmin background are Mukherjee, Banerjee, Chatterjee, or the original is Mukhopadhyay, Bandopadhyay, Chattopadhyay. Yeah, all these are typical Bengali Brahmin names from the Brahmin background. So Chakrabarti is there. So then it says, so they're discussing something. So they're discussing for some time. See, they talk with each other on various indications. So they're talking for some time. It's not just one thing, but then after talking for some time, now we have text 152.
প্রভু কহে প্রশ্ন লাগি আইলাম তোমার স্থানে, কাজী কহে আজ্ঞা করো যে তোমার মনে।
So this seems a little mistake here. The Lord said, "My dear uncle, I have come to your home just to ask you some questions." And it says purport, but it's in the verse. It's in the verse, so it didn't make sense to me. Yes, the Kazi replied, "You are welcome. Just tell me what is on your mind." See, he says, "Agya kara," just order me, tomar man. So this is all part of the translation. Oh, Prananath Prabhu has a question here. Oh my God. Question coming from India.
Prabhu, I was just thinking, you mentioned that the offense was he did not receive him, right? When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived. Then what is the offense that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may have committed that Chand Kazi is thinking he committed?
I think he's angry. He's angry. And some of the Lord Chaitanya's associates have pulled up his flowers and things like that, smashed some of his gardens. Although Lord Chaitanya himself maybe did not do that. But that's how I take it. But it's not described here, so we can only think. But that's how I take it.
Thank you.
That's we want to get into this, yeah, deeply. Yes. Okay, so after talking for some time,
প্রভু কহে গোদুগ্ধ খাও, গাবি তোমার মাতা, বৃষ অন্ন উপজায়, তাতে তেহ পিতা।
the Lord said, "You drink cow's milk. Therefore, the cow is your mother, and the bull produces grains for your maintenance. Therefore, he is your father."
পিতা মাতা মারি খাও, এবা কোন ধর্ম, কোন বলে করো তুমি এ মতো বিকর্ম।
Since the bull and cow are your father and mother, how can you kill and eat them? What kind of religious principle is this? On what strength are you so daring that you commit such sinful activities? Purport. Everyone can understand that we drink the milk of cows and take the help of bulls in producing agricultural products. Therefore, since our real father gives us food grains and our mother gives us milk with which to live, the cow and bull are considered our father and mother. According to Vedic civilization, there are 7 mothers, of which the cow is one. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu challenged the Muslim Qazi. What kind of religious principle do you follow by killing your father and mother to eat them? In any civilized human society, no one would dare kill his father and mother for the purpose of eating them. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu challenged the system of Muslim religion as patricide and matricide. You know what patricide and matricide means? You know what homicide is?
Yeah, it's killing of the father and mother.
Yes. Patra is father, mata is mom. In the Christian religion also, a principal commandment is, thou shalt not kill. Nevertheless, Christians violate this rule. They are very expert in killing and in opening slaughterhouses. In our Krishna consciousness movement, our first provision is that no one should be allowed to eat any kind of flesh. It does not matter whether it is cow's flesh or goat's flesh. But we especially stress the prohibition against cow's flesh, because according to Shastra, the cow is our mother. Thus, the Muslims' cow killing was challenged by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shapandantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'd like to ask for your blessings, and particularly those who are senior by age or advancement in Krishna consciousness, and permission for speaking. Hare Krishna. So this point, we see that Lord Chaitanya, although he makes this, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami makes this point very strongly, he doesn't go into detail about what Lord Chaitanya and the Kazi were speaking about before this. So it's almost as if this was the first thing, the first point that Lord Chaitanya and the Kazi were speaking about. But actually, no, it was in the midst of their conversation, and they had other discussions first. I sent out a article. I don't know if anybody had the chance to read it, from an article that was written by a Muslim professor in the University of California. And his reaction to Lord Chaitanya and the Caitanya Caritamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj's portrayal of Islam, in this case, dealing with this incident. And that person was making the point that, if you want to have Muslim Hare Krishna dialogue, don't talk about this. This is not a proper representation of the religion of Islam. You'll alienate people by speaking like this. And further saying that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, you accept him as an acharya, but an acharya isn't really expected to know everything about other religions. He might know about the Hindu religion or Vaishnavism, but he won't know that much about the Islam. So he can't properly represent, or he hasn't properly represented the Muslim faith in this dialogue. And he also, in this article, suggests that Chand Kazi was not a real person, because the name Chand Kazi is just Chand means moon. The Kazi is a moon, or just some kind of name that was taken up out of, somebody imagined it. And if the Kazi was a real, learned Muslim, he would have argued according to their scriptures, because there's quite a developed philosophy, that people learn for years about how to apply Islamic law. So the Muslim here, Chand Kazi, is he just kind of gives up very, very, very quickly. and he uses a term called, he says, the Chandkazi is a paper tiger. Have you ever heard that expression before? A paper tiger? I was thinking it was something like a straw man argument. Yeah. In debate.
Yes, I've heard that argument. Sorry, Prabhu. Or
Go
I've
ahead.
heard that. Yeah.
What have you heard?
I've heard a paper tiger.
Well, do you know what it means?
Yeah, it means like flimsy almost, like you may have numbers, but you're not strong. It's almost like a facade. You appear to be stronger than you actually really are. Yeah, that's kind of
Yes. I looked it up because I didn't know. Good, thank you, Bob. But it was coined by, at least according to the Wikipedia, it's coined by Mao Zedong, Chinese, Communist China premier, in relation to the United States. The United States talks and makes all these threats, but doesn't really do anything. It's not really formidable, as you said. Just makes a show, but no. So this is just a show. Chandkazi, or the author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is making a show of Islam, but not really. It's not really the depth of Islam that is being portrayed here. So then he doesn't give it much credence. So he even goes as far as that Chandkazi is not really a real person. He's just an imaginary person that was conjured up to try to make this point, which doesn't really give justice to the Islamic religion. So I'd like to take your input on these ideas. What is your view? So he's giving a challenge to this to Lord Chaitanya and Krishnadas Kaviraj. He especially challenges Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in that article. Any ideas?
So basically, he's defending.
Yes. Well, not just defending, but he, in a sense, trying to minimize the points given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami by saying, well, he doesn't really know Islam. He doesn't give you the details of the Islamic philosophy that could have been used to refute Lord Chaitanya, etc. Yes.
Right. So yeah, basically he's defending, and because they don't accept these teachers or teachings as authorized, they will minimize, demonize, or so the author also, that's natural, they will do. Unfortunately, whether you accept the authority or not, but should have been accepting the essence or not. That's the whole thing. The purpose of presentation is to understand the essence. The essence is because Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't discuss about Allah is God or not, but it's actually a lower level understanding of humanity, to respect basic etiquette that should be accepted on that platform, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed. Krishnadas Kaji, Chand Kaji, of course he's a learned, otherwise he would not have been there. But those days, people are not very much so adamant. They were humble, ready to accept when they're convinced. Nowadays, even if you know you're in fault, you're wrong, we don't accept. The time has kind of changed a little bit. That's what I see.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. That's good comment. Other people have comments. Thank you, Krishna Kirtan Prabhu. Acharya Prabhu, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. I don't want to get in trouble here, but I think
okay, we'll make sure that we won't report you anywhere.
But I think there's a certain kernel of if not truth, but relevance in what that Muslim scholar was saying. Not about rejecting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not about the historicity of Chand Kazi, but the idea that, like, for example, if we're going to discuss the religion of Islam with a follower, and all we know about it is what's presented in that chapter of the CC, then we're really not going to understand, what Islam is really about, and we won't be able to make good arguments that there is more to it than what's presented there. Just like same thing when Mahaprabhu meets with the Buddhists. It's such an ecstatic chapter, and there's a lot of great philosophical points, but it also doesn't fully represent the religion of Buddhism if you want to discuss it in a scholarly or intellectual setting. So I don't want to give that person too much credit, but I think there's a kernel of a good point there that he's making. Hare Krishna, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Others?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hari Bol. Brajesh Govinda Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. The important thing is the Mahaprabhu really try to spread the Krishna consciousness to everyone for available everything for the Krishna consciousness. But whatever the Chandkaji, yes, is this kind of representative of the Muslim. But whatever is my understanding, I just really actually I born in Bangladesh. There is all of the Muslim people, but they do not try to hearing nothing interested to our scripture, no nothing. If also sometimes we are worshipping the cows, but they are criticizing every time. We already try to explain them, but because this is the thing that's why Srila Prabhupada said it's called Dehatma Buddhi. I mean the bodily mind. They are not really actually understanding the things, because they're thinking, oh, this is cow. Why we are worshipping this? We are human being. We are to topmost level. This is the problem. Is there? They are also not acknowledge about the Chandkaji. They do not want to understand nothing. Sorry, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Brajesh Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Others? I heard somebody else speaking, but
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mother Mukti
Yeah, I
Daki.
just wanted to say, like, it seems like, the instruction coming to the Muslim religion for killing the cows, it not instructed from the God. I don't know, they make it up by their mind. This is like a word in Bengali, they said, monodharmi proshuto. It's like mentally, they created these roles or something like that. Because
Monodharma, so something made in the mind.
yeah.
Okay. So there's some the understanding is a little different. Somebody made it up or along the way. Yeah.
Seems like because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this, why you killing the cows as your father and the mother.
So yeah. So an important point we'll find out later as Lord Chaitanya they continue the discussion, which so Chandkazi is going to retort, oh, but in your scriptures, there's arrangement for Ashvamedha and Gomedha Yagya, which is a horse sacrifice and cow sacrifice. So how you can't criticize me? You've got it in your scriptures. And then Lord Chaitanya, he famously said, no, that's Ashvamedha Gavalamban Sannyasya Palapaitrakan. These things are forbidden because the Ashvamedha and Gomedha, the cow sacrifice and horse sacrifice, are forbidden in Kali Yuga because nobody can rejuvenate the animal offered in sacrifice. Previously, those sacrifices were meant to test the efficacy of Vedic mantras because an old animal would be put into fire and get a new body. So he goes into detail about that. So So he's saying, Lord Chaitanya is saying, well, there might be people who interpret the Vedic literature as Chankazi was doing, but not just Chankazi, other Hindus as well. They can interpret the Vedic literature to say that, oh, horse and cow sacrifice are allowed. It's there in the Vedas. And so they go ahead. Many people do that. So not only it's a criticism of Islam, but a criticism of Vedic religion too, or misinterpretations of Vedic religion. You understand? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
they still do it for Kali Puja, and yeah, for Kali Puja, they people sometimes they
Buffalo.
they
Yeah.
take a bow, like if you give this, or if you like like their son or daughter or somebody else is sick, so they will like take the oath, like I will do that if you like if you like my son is better, then I will do this sacrifice to you,
Yes.
the Kali.
Okay. So my thank you. My view on this point, Lord Chaitanya is saying, is that, there might be many different religious formularies and philosophical positions in one religion or another religion, but when it comes down to it, what is the practicality, or what is it, in practical terms? If the result of your religion is, as Lord Chaitanya says, you're going to kill your father and mother, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. You might have so many different philosophical explanations about why it's a good idea, but when it comes down to it, you're killing your father and your mother and your father. So that's a very realistic and important point that Lord Chaitanya is making, and an observation about the challenges with the Islamic religion. And that Lord Chaitanya is not different from Lord Krishna, is known as Govinda, Gopal. He's a protector of the cows. So here, if this is being the cows are being killed so wantonly, that's certainly a disturbance for Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. Prananath Prabhu.
It's interesting. I was just having a similar conversation earlier today with somebody here in India. And from a practicality point of view, he was telling me that I don't know if I can't remember if he used the word constitution, but it's just related, so I'm sharing that he said that is why the constitution clearly says, I was arguing about this cow and killing, and he said it allows, or it tells you cannot kill a calf, you cannot kill a milking cow, and you cannot kill a bull, which is active and can help in agriculture. And I was just, not that there are many arguments you can make against it, but he was just telling me that when it stops milking, that it seems the constitution allows for these people to kill. And I was thinking, wow, this is where we need to work on. I just thought it's relevant, so I'm sharing.
Interesting point. So your mother no longer gives milk, so then it's okay to kill her, right? I mean,
That's exactly what I asked, but he was saying, there's some protection, but not full protection.
Yeah. Okay. So they're all different. Every religion has different formularies and different aspects of philosophy, but when it comes down to it, there's a truth, there's reality, and what is that reality? How does it translate to your daily life? And that's an important thing. It's not just we get carried away by the different religious philosophies. Just like if there was a religion that said, well, There was one famous Prime Minister of India who did autoimmune therapy. You know, autoimmune therapy, have you heard of it? It's where the practice is to drink your own urine. So say that, you know that. So say that's your religious principle. Okay, all right. You know, but what is that? Is that the practical situation? Or if the religion is you have, you know, many, you can marry thousands of women. Every person can marry thousands of women. What practicality is that? So it comes down to is it a sinful activity to slaughter the cow or not? That's the cow being the mother. Even in the Vedas allows for killing of goat only once a month on the dark moon night, and offered to Goddess Kali. But Goddess Kali isn't taking the meat; she's a Vaishnavi. But her associates, her witches and hobgoblins, they like that. So I know that one time Srila Prabhupada was discussing with Dr. Patel. He was a doctor who used to come on Srila Prabhupada's morning walks in Mumbai, on Juhu Beach. And they were discussing, and Dr. Patel wanted to institute nationally no meat eating at all in India. That was his platform. And I was surprised that Srila Prabhupada objected. He said, no, that's Buddhism. Vedic religion means it's allowed to worship, you know, Kali, you can kill the goat once a month. We're not Buddhists. So he argued in that way. Of course, for people who are Vaishnavas, he says in this purport, we don't eat any disciple or followers of the, you know, of Vaishnava path. They don't eat any meat, fish, or eggs. But for the general population, there's some slight allowance for it. Very interesting point. So anyway, in that article, the Satyaraj Prabhu, who's the editor of the journal that was published in, he said, well, it may be that Chand Kazi, even though he was a learned man, a Maulana, he just, in Lord Chaitanya's presence, he just became overwhelmed and couldn't respond appropriately with all his Muslim knowledge and education. That's what he said that in the footnotes to that article. I didn't know if that's really the case. Lord Chaitanya, it may be also. There's another case is that Chand Kazi, he was living in Bengal and he had to interact with both Hindus and Muslims. We see that later that he was, you know, the Hindus, Brahmins would come and speak with him. So he was at least to a certain extent conversant with the beliefs of Hindus. And the first belief of the Hindu is from Bhagavad Gita, that we're not the body, and that the soul transmigrates from body to body, and that the soul in a human body is the same as the soul in a animal body. So he would be familiar with that. He may not have followed that in his Muslim religion, but if the Muslim religion goes by the Old Testament, generally they have different interpretations about what the soul is, but is the soul is something the soul in an animal body is different than the soul in a human body. So Srila Prabhupada also commented about that, you know, if you look in the animal, there's so many similarities between the animal and the human. The animal eats and you eat. The animal sleeps, we sleep. The animal reproduces, we reproduce. This animal defends himself. The animal doesn't want to die. The animal gets cut, it bleeds. So what's the difference? So you can argue the argument. So Chankazi was likely familiar with these ideas, and with Lord Chaitanya presenting this strong point. We're not talking about other deeply philosophical points about the nature of God or the nature of the soul or the process of becoming surrendered to God, but just this very point, very simple point. He had to admit this is not reasonable, that it's a religion is reasonable that recommends killing your father and mother. That's another idea, another way of looking at it. So we see that Chankazi, the idea that Chankazi is not really a historical person, we find elsewhere in Caitanya Caritamrita his actual name given as Suraddin Maulana or Habibara Rahamana. And Maulana means a very learned person. In fact, it's said that Chankazi was the spiritual master of Nawab Hussein Shah, who was the Nawab, the king of that area. And we know also that his descendants are still living in the Navadvip area. So it's not just a paper tiger position. So anyway, these are other points made here. I saw somebody else's hand was there.
Was British Govinda Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, I'm sorry. I already tried to share another thing, whatever you said, the first, the Prabhupada already said, like, we are not in the body. Yeah, this main concept in the spiritualization in the first, already Srila Prabhupada said, whatever is my understanding in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the scriptures, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yeah, this is the same. But I tried to, lots of people tell them in my Muslim friend, they're nothing to interested really. This is the thing. Yeah, you had said like the Chankaji was Maulana. Yes, no. It means like he's the very liberated person and the very great person in the Muslims. But this is the happen. They are not listen anything about
Yes,
scripture.
it may be. So it doesn't mean. So in this case, Chankazi was he was influenced by Lord Chaitanya. Interesting. There's a conversation that Srila Prabhupada had with Cardinal Danielu. If you know, in the Catholic faith, in Christianity, there's the Catholics were the original Catholic Christians. So cardinals are those religious authorities who are just below the Pope. The Pope is the supreme religious authority. So in France, Srila Prabhupada had a conversation with Cardinal Danielu, and you can read that article. It's quite interesting. It's on the database. But Srila Prabhupada, they talked very much about different things, and then finally Srila Prabhupada did ask about what kind of how come you allow killing in your religion? And so Cardinal Danielu responds, well, we believe there's a different soul for an animal than for a human. And then Srila Prabhupada, as we just said, that they contrast. What is that? What is that? What makes you say that? And then he of course quoted from the Old Testament, the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill." So both Christians and Muslims, all Christians, Muslims, and Jews all accept the Old Testament. They're all based on the teachings. That's the original background of their teaching. So thou shalt not kill, and in the original it was lo tirtsak. Lo tirtsak means not to kill any being, not just humans. So they had a discussion on that. So Srila Prabhupada pointed that out, and the cardinal had a little difficulty responding, just as Chankazi here has difficulty responding to this question which Lord Chaitanya, please, I'd like to ask you a question. So he's asking this question. This is a Socratic method, right? He's asking the question, why is it okay to kill your father and your mother? Just as Srila Prabhupada says, oh, in your religion, it says, thou shalt not kill. And just as in the Vedic religion, people can misinterpret or misemphasize certain things to justify cow killing. Similarly, in Islam, one can interpret certain things to justify it or try to justify it. But ultimately, what the actual purpose of religion is to make progress in spiritual life. Shukadev Goswami says, Nivrittatarsha rupagiyamanad bhavoshadi chota viramad. The last line is, everybody, this Krishna consciousness is so nice that it can attract everybody except that person who's a pashugnat. Pashugnat means someone who's killing the animal. Pashu is animal. It could also mean killing the soul by not making it any endeavor for spiritual life, but pashugnat. So this is a strong point. It's, as I'll repeat, it wasn't the first point that Lord Chaitanya and the Chandkazi discussed. It was after some time they discussed this, but it was a major point, and this was leading to it led to Chandkazi's acceptance of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, I'm sorry. This I forget to tell you another thing. I have one, the Facebook account, lots of Muslim friends already in there, in my followers, something like this. When I'm, my understanding is going to deeper and deeper. This means I understand this. Everyone is looking happiness, real happiness. The Srila Prabhupada also said, that if you want to really happy, you should, same thing, we have to try to stop the killing. That's thing, when I'm trying to posting something like this, if you're really looking real happiness, we have to stop killing process, any kind of animal, anything. Then we really try to, then after that, the posting something happen, and I see that lots of my friend is not really the good relationship with me. I mean, their thinking might be I'll just criticize them. Really not. I'm trying to telling the all people, if you really need to be real happiness in the peaceful world, we have to stop the killing. This is the thing.
Good point, Brajesh Govinda Prabhu. Yeah, because there's a reaction. There's a reaction. The karma is there. You kill, you'll be killed. And
Yes.
There's so much. I mean, the war is unbelievable. There was the United States was slaughtering Native American Indians when they colonized the the colonies were here, and there's every so many years there's a great violence committed against various groups of people, killing them by wholesale. Of course, this is a result of one contributing factor, not the only factor, but one contributing factor is the wanton slaughter of animals. As long as that goes on, the reactions are going to be there. So just as you said. So Lord Chaitanya is explaining this for his benefit. Okay, text 155.
কাজী কহে তোমার জইছে বেদ পুরাণ তৈছে আমার শাস্ত্র কেতাব কোরআন.
The Kazi replied, as you have your scriptures called the Vedas and Puranas, we have our scriptures known as the Holy Quran. Chandkazi agreed to talk with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the strength of scriptures. According to Veda scripture, if one can support his position by quoting from the Vedas, his argument is perfect. Similarly, when the Muslims support their position with the quotations from the Quran, their arguments are also authorized. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised the question of the Muslims' cow killing and bull killing, Chandkazi came to the standard of understanding from his scriptures. So Lord Chaitanya didn't bring the scriptures. Chankazi brought up the scriptures. Very important. Yes.
সেই শাস্ত্র কহে প্রবৃত্তি নিবৃত্তি মার্গ ভেদ নিবৃত্তি মার্গে জীব মাত্র বধের নিষেধ
According to the Quran, there are two ways of advancement: through increasing the propensity to enjoy and through decreasing the propensity to enjoy. On the path of decreasing attachment, nivritti marg, the killing of animals is prohibited. See, okay. So these last two verses, they show us that Chankazi was even familiar with, the Vedas to the point that he knew about Ashvamedha and Gomedha. So he was familiar with the ideas of the Vedic religion. And now he's contrasting it here. Oh, similarly in the Quran, we have this nivritti and decreasing and increasing attachments. Go ahead.
প্রবৃত্তি মার্গে গোবধ করিতে বিধি হয় শাস্ত্র আজ্ঞায় বধ কইলে নাহি পাপ হয়
On the path of material activities, there is regulation for killing cows. If such killing is done under the guidance of scripture, there is no sin. Purport. The word shastra is derived from dhatu, or verbal root, shas. Shas dhatu pertains to the controlling or ruling. A government's ruling through force or weapons is called shastra. Thus, whenever there is a ruling, either by weapons or by injunctions, the shasdhatu is the basic principle. Between shastra, ruling through weapons, and shastra, ruling through the injunctions of the scriptures, the better is shastra. Our Vedic scriptures are not ordinary law books of human common sense. They are statements of factually liberated persons unaffected by the imperfectness of the senses. Shastra must be correct always, not sometimes correct and sometimes incorrect. In the Vedic scriptures, the cow is described as a mother. There she is a mother for all time. It is not, as the rascals say, that in the Vedic age she was a mother, but she is not in this age. If Shastra has authority, the cow is a mother always. She was a mother in the Vedic age, and she is a mother in this age also. Or she doesn't stop being a mother after she stops giving milk, right? If one acts according to the injunctions of Shastra, he is freed from the reactions of sinful activity. For example, the propensities for eating flesh, drinking wine, and enjoying sex are all natural to the conditioned soul. The path of such enjoyment is called pravritti marg. The Shastra says, pravritti esha bhutanam nivritti tu mahat pala. One should not be carried away by the propensities of defective conditioned life. One should be guided by the principles of the Shastras. A child's propensity is to play all day long, but it is the injunction of the Shastras that the parent should take care to educate him. The Shastras are there just to guide the activities of human society. But because people do not refer to the instructions of Shastra, which are free from defects and imperfections, they are therefore misguided by so-called educated teachers and leaders who are full of the deficiencies of conditioned life. Very important idea. So there's 4 defects that we find in our functioning that make us unqualified to create our own religion. Nowadays, in human society, there's so many people who've come up with their own version of religion. But because of these 4 defects, one of the defects is we always make mistakes. Another defect is we're in illusion. We think material happiness is the perfection of life. our senses are imperfect, and beside these three initial faults, we also cheat. We cheat in different ways. Even though we have these imperfections, still we think we know what we're talking about all the time. So, therefore, the Vedic literature of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Dharma tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Religion can't be manufactured by anybody, but it's given directly by the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna very clearly says that understanding of religion is best done, it's only done by receiving it in the disciplic succession, which started from the Lord himself. So, Shastra. In fact, Islam, they accept the Old Testament, but also there's the Quran. And you know what the Quran is? Who knows? So
It's like
anyway,
their Hare
go
Krishna.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's like their Bible, right? Part of it is like their laws that they need to follow by, like their, I guess, like their moral injunctions that they need to follow by, and then also the story of Muhammad, right?
Well, yeah, you've got a couple things. The Quran specifically is so Muhammad, Haraja Muhammad was living in the in the Middle East and desert area. And at a certain point in his life, he started to go to a cave and just for prayer and meditation and stuff. And so there, while he was in the cave or in that vicinity, supposedly the angel Gabriel came and spoke to him, and he remembered that. So there's in the pantheon of Christian theology, there's God, and then there's various angels. And one of those important angels is Gabriel. That same angel, Gabriel, intervened years ago when Abraham's servant wife Hagar was in the forest in the desert, and she needed water, and Angel Gabriel came and made a well in the desert, and that's where Mecca is, a well for them to Hagar and her son Ishmael. So anyways, so Angel Gabriel spoke to Muhammad when as he was away from the civilization, and then later Muhammad, because Muhammad he didn't know how to read or write, so he dictated it sometime later, and it was written down by scribes. That's the Quran. And then there's something else, as Bob was talking about, the Bhakti Bab. There's the Hadith, which is supposedly some moral instructions that might be related to things given in the Quran, but are specifically written down by scribes about what Muhammad said, and to his different followers about what to do in different times and places. And in the Hadith, you'll find things like in the area of Mecca, a certain area around Mecca, no animal killing is allowed. Did you know that? No. Even though they might kill animals other places, but in Mecca, in that area, they can't do that. So that's in the Hadith. Okay, Shastra. So in the Muslim system, the Quran was also memorized. It wasn't just as Muhammad did. They would memorize it. The whole thing is memorized. So it wasn't written down always, but it was, and they give more credence to the oral tradition than the written tradition, in fact. Okay. Other comments to this? So if you haven't read that article that was sent out, Mother Shobarade, I don't know if you still send it or you can email me. Mother Vindhyavali, you have a question?
I have a small question.
Please.
when we are talking about cow and bull, and then when they are just useless, then they're killing like that. Some places you're saying. So what about the seniors? Some seniors, senior. What do you call it? Senior places, that seniors, they will be putting in some place, and there some places they don't care for them. So
Yes.
is it mentally they are killing them? Physically they may not be killing them. Mentally.
So when you're saying that when the
They're not.
seniors are put in an old folks home or something, and
Senior home,
and
I'm
they-
sorry.
the
Not only that. If the
or
senior not taking care, not listening, not doing anything, then mentally they're killing them.
you could say that you could go that in that direction. Yeah. Therefore, in the Vedic system, the seniors, they're interested is encouraged to become a little bit renounced.
Mhm.
That's right. Because people don't. When you get older, then what is your use? You're not producing anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're not producing
What is the
anything.
use?
So
No,
okay.
your
Yeah.
days are different, our days are different. Nothing matches here. So if they don't understand, it's fine. But they can at least treat them, some places.
Yeah.
Putting
So
them in their homes, that is
in the Vedic system, there was a respect given for the seniors. That was an important ingredient of the when Arjuna returned from Dwarka, after trying to meet Lord Krishna, but Lord Krishna had already left the planet. He was unhappy, and Yudhishthira was asking him, "Why are you unhappy?" And so, have you disrespected a senior, a Brahmin, and like that? He was saying, "Oh, this." So that was an important aspect. And as the civilization degrades, we find less and less appreciation for seniors.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, so we're in the middle here. They haven't finished this conversation. It's a good conversation. We'll continue it next time, or next time I'm there. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha.
Very much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Santanu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Both.
Still.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Squirrel. What is that?